Hey there, Peter Vekselman here with my good buddy Rafael Zabala. Rafa, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, brother.
Well, we're going to talk about marketing, and I'll tell you what, there's no one better that I know in my world to talk about marketing than Rafa. But Rafa, I think the best way I could describe how important marketing truly is I want to talk a little bit about our relationship. See, many years ago, Rafa and I met, and back then I was doing my own coaching, was doing my own investing, and Rafa was really introduced to me as a marketer. We did some things together, and ultimately I realized he obviously had the gift of marketing, and he just started developing leads for me. He was developing leads for me. I was calling in the leads. Things were going great, but this is why marketing is king, is if you're a real estate investor. Today, Rafa doesn't just develop leads for me. Today, Rafa, and I'm proud to call him not only a great buddy of mine, but he's a full-fledged partner. Marketing is there's nothing I could think of that is more important to a real estate investor than to have a good marketing machine. Now let's face it, in real estate investing, there's a lot of different pieces. There's money piece, there's rehab piece, there's buying piece, there's selling piece, there's back office, there's paperwork, there's inspections. There's a million things, and those are all important things, but nothing is more important than the marketing piece. And this is why the ultimate way I felt like I trap you is to make you a full-fledged partner. But Rafa, you're a marketing guy, so talk from a marketing perspective. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to kind of toot your own horn, but what is in businesses like really any business? I don't care if you're in a restaurant, I don't care if you're a dry cleaner or a real estate investor. What else is more important than the piece that you provide in terms of marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have this conversation a lot with people that I meet. When people ask, it's like, well, what do you think is the number one skill I should be developing, right? Developing for the future that's coming, developing to be able to follow my passions. What do you think is one of those key skills that I should focus on? And my answer is 100% every time, marketing. Because even though, as we're talking about real estate investing and in our greater companies that we have together, marketing at the end of the day is the key component with sales, right, for any and all businesses, right? There's very, very, very few businesses that don't have to struggle to master marketing and sales, which makes people that study it, that have a passion for it, incredibly valuable for our economy and for all of our businesses.
Well, there's no question. The way I talk about it, Rafa, is marketing equals money. I mean, there's so many other pieces to the businesses that are all critical, but they don't necessarily increase cash flow, and they could many times be, to a certain degree, you don't have to be perfect at it. I think marketing is cash flow, and there's nothing more important to somebody than cash flow as a business owner. So, Rafa, I know there's a lot of new beginners that watch this. Let's say somebody's sitting right now and they're just getting started, right? And they don't have a budget. Let's face it, when you and I met, I already had a little bit of a budget to put into someone like you. But let's say they're brand new, they don't really have thousands of dollars or whatever it takes to bring someone like you on board on. What would you talk to that person? How would somebody go out there as a real estate investor and start developing some kind of leads without blowing the top when it comes to budgets?
No, absolutely. Well, it's marketing. And for entrepreneurs in general, it's a self-education process, right? Okay. You have to invest in learning what's out there. They don't teach it in schools, unfortunately. No. They don't teach it in universities. And I say unfortunately because it is a disservice to people. But it's fortunate for us because it creates an incredible opportunity for the people that do search for and learn it. Now, I don't know if you remember, Peter, when we first started working together, at that time, I already had been doing online marketing and lead generation for many years, mm-hmm. right? But we were still kind of finding our strategies, the best ways for us to not just market, but actually go out there and build relationships, right? Mm-hmm. All entrepreneurs go through that process, that struggle of learning that. And at that time is when we connected with the ClickFunnels community, yep. With Russell Brunson, yep. his books, .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. It's around that time that in our lives. We actually ended up going to our first Funnel
remember.
Hackers Live together. That was
I remember.
quite an experience. This before we were business partners,
Yeah.
kind of just getting to know each other.
That's a separate podcast.
Partner driven after
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
But it really was a changing point for myself, and I believe also for us as a group and as a community, beginning to learn these principles from folks that were really doing it. So I've given away that book, .com Secrets and Expert Secrets, so many times to folks, because I really believe it's the textbooks for digital entrepreneurship, right? And which is marketing at the core. But it goes beyond that, because marketing is really just the mechanics of building a movement, of creating something.
Talk a little bit about, there's offline marketing and online marketing. Now, interestingly enough, Rafa, when I got started, before I even met you, I was totally offline marketer. I was the bandit sign guy. I was the flyer guy. I was the go to the real estate meetings guy.
Were you out there flipping a sign?
I wasn't flipping a sign, but I was definitely nailing down on the exit. So I did all that because, in my opinion, that's the cheap marketing, right? And back then, when I got started, I didn't really have money to invest. And so I kind of did it at the grassroots level, I call it, and it's what we teach a lot of our partners. If you don't have a lot of money to invest to generate leads online, you got to go offline. But what's a good budget? Like, at what level can you tell somebody that if you have this kind of money to invest, that you could now start going online and start having some kind of, like, I'd say probably somebody has $20 a month. That's probably not online. That's probably not enough.
Correct.
To go online.
Absolutely.
Where's that kind of line where if somebody's watching and they have a certain amount of money, how much would you recommend somebody put into marketing that you would feel pretty confident that, you know what, I think you're ready to go online?
Oh, absolutely. I think that if you're able to afford a budget of anywhere from $800 to $2,000 on the low end, you have enough to be able to go make an impact. But let me take a step back from that, because you asked a really important question. The difference between the offline and online, what should I be doing, right? And in my opinion, it's not a question of offline or online.
Okay.
Right? It's about how can I get to the people that I need to get to.
Okay.
That's it, period. That's the number one question, and that's what you have to stay focused on, because that the answer to that are many, right? And depending on your specific situation, your specific market, there's going to be a lot of really creative and powerful ways to do that. So, for example, putting signs on people's doors, right? That was a very effective way to get directly to that person. So, from a marketing perspective, that's what we're thinking about.
Yep.
Right? How do we start that conversation?
Makes sense. As I've gotten to know you, I've gotten to know some terms I never know before. And one of those terms is marketing automation. And I think I have a pretty good grasp on it. And I know it's important. I know that our marketing automation is an important part of marketing. Talk a little bit about that and how important it is for someone like yourself, for someone who may be thinking of putting together the marketing engine. What is marketing automation, and what is the ultimate importance of it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely, marketing automation is probably one of the most amazing advances for entrepreneurs and solo entrepreneurs that's taken place over the last decade plus, right? And what that essentially is the ability for us to use a database, a CRM, that receives our leads, that receives our prospects, so that we can have our teams work on it, right?
Okay.
But then the automation piece is then all of the other things that we would want to happen from that database.
Okay.
Would we like them to receive emails at certain periods or times? Would we like them to get invited to different things?
Okay.
Right? It's incredibly powerful, because if you're doing any efforts to generate leads, right, there's nothing more sad than a lead that hasn't been called, followed up on. You're not going to believe this. Right, but I did this study prior to working in real estate. I was really more into B2B business marketing, and these guys spend millions of dollars generating leads. Right, they did a study across the best companies, right, on how long it took before they contacted a lead that they paid for to generate.
Am I going to be weirded out when I hear this answer?
You're gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna get weirded out. It was absolutely incredible. It was, if I remember correctly, it was something about 80% of leads hadn't been in contact within 24 hours.
Unbelievable.
And it's incredible.
Right.
The people that truly do a lead response of 5 minutes are. Everyone might say they do that. It's when the study found we're talking about only the 1% did that. It was the top 20% did it within 24 hours, right? And so, why is that? Because managing leads, you're receiving leads, and you're that's an incredible challenge, right? Especially if you're generating thousands of leads, which sometimes we have to find the good opportunities.
Well, talk about it in real life. How, for instance, here, partner driven. We pride ourselves on our ability to help our partners market. And you have set up a marketing automation system for them that has the ability to make outbound text messages, make outbound dials, sends out emails. Talk a little bit about, for our partners, what does that look like, and how are we helping them generate actual real-time, real-life motivated seller leads?
Yeah, this is something that I'm incredibly proud of. Because so many different organizations go out and teach valuable information, but everyone knows if that information stays inside of a book or inside of your head, it's absolutely worthless. Others kind of, they might connect you with some folks to get things done, but very few, if any, actually really give you the tools that are necessary to get the job done.
Yep.
Right? And so from the ground up, real estate investing is marketing, is generating leads and nurturing leads.
That's right.
Essentially 80% of real estate investing, of the effort anyways.
That's right.
That goes into real estate investing. And so that's incredibly laborious, trying to do that on a spreadsheets or off of notebooks. And I know that's how you started at one point. That's how everyone started at one point, a couple decades back for certain.
Right.
But today we don't have to do that. And so we scoured the world of all of these different tools. We've tested so many of these tools, trying to find the right combination of that database, that CRM system, the ability to calendar leads, the ability to manage phone calling in and out, the ability to send text, not just send text, but actually schedule and automate text campaigns, right? The whole email marketing piece of it, the ability to build funnels and websites all already connected within your own investor automation system. Right? And so all of these things that I just mentioned are all key aspects of successful marketing automation. And the reason so few have know about this or have done this is because it's so hard to connect all these tools together.
That's right.
And so what we did with our Deal Engine CRM is that we were able to bring it all under one roof, so that our partners have one place to rule them all, right? For true lead management, for no lead left behind style approach, where everything takes place. And I know I threw out a lot of those things, or a lot of those aspects out of it, right? I think that you mentioned the phone calling one, which I think is a really important part for an investor perspective, right? Our system allows you to receive leads and automatically put them in phone calling lists, right? Okay. That act as an auto dialer that you can phone call yourself manually, or you can have your team doing it for you. Our partners and their license are encouraged, so they have a multi-user license from the get-go, so that they can build their own teams from start.
That's huge. This is in summary, this is what I want to tell you as a real estate investor. And then there's two types of leads for us as real estate investors. There's what I call outbound lead. And that's where you just take a random list. You could take the tax records. You could literally drive into a neighborhood where you live and just knock on doors. And by the way, those are legitimate ways of building this business. I personally did that for the first 3 years in the business. And I did quite well at doing that. But that is a very laborious way of doing it. It's a very uncertain way of doing it. And the bottom line is this: that is the difficult way of doing it. When you get into the marketing side, when you learn how to generate leads, when you connect with somebody like a Rafa and leads start coming to you, I can tell you there's nothing else in this business that is a big a game changer as that. So the bottom line is this: what does marketing do for you? It takes an uncertainty and creates certainty. It takes something that you're not really quite sure when and where it'll happen and puts you in a position that you're very sure when and where it's going to happen. So as a real estate investor, I'm going to leave you with these final words. You got to figure out the marketing piece. It's the one piece that'll make you more money than any other pieces. Thanks, Rafa.
Thank you.